On my wedding anniversary day, I prepared for the cheating husband and the backstabbing best friend. A meticulously staged livestream tribunal of revenge. The high-definition footage of them sneaking into a hotel room. The voice memos that called me clueless. A doormat. The wire transfers Chase sent to Stella with the memo line, "For Babe's formula." Scene after scene, stark naked, flicked across the retractable screen, watched by a million strangers in the stream. Dear husband, my dearest best friend, do the orange jumpsuits I special ordered for you fit? Before we continue, subscribe to this channel and drop a comment telling us where you're tuning in from. In the living room, on the giant projection screen, a video capable of destroying 2 marriages and 3 families was playing in brutal clarity. Husband Chase and my best friend Stella kissing ravenously in a hotel corridor in Manhattan, then swiping the keycard and tumbling inside. Arms locked. A timestamp in the lower right corner showed every night he'd texted me, working late, on a split screen beside it. Wire transfer after wire transfer, each a sizable sum gliding from Chase's account straight into Stella's. The final entry, a whopping withdrawal that could hollow out our joint savings of years, bore the laughable memo, "For Babe's formula." Chase. Olivia the doormat's money is so easy to milk. Every syllable Stella uttered in that clip was a poison-tipped needle, ramming into my heart. Inside the streaming rig I'd set up with obsessive care, the comment feed was going berserk, almost blotting out the picture. Holy hell, a live cheater stakeout. Plot twist of the year, cheater, backstabber deserve each other. Streamer's a beast. This evidence chain is forged in steel. If it were me, I'd already be swinging a 7-foot machete. The viewer counter spun like a slot machine. Within minutes more than 100,000 had poured in, and the numbers kept climbing. Hundreds of thousands of eyes watched through the pinhole cam, simultaneously feasting on the E-anniversary gala I was directing. Under the dim lights, Chase's face had lost every trace of color. He wanted to rip the retractable screen down and swallow it, but his body wouldn't obey. Stella beside him was paper white, eyes bulging, limbs quaking uncontrollably. Only the sickening smooch of the video, the cold electronic voice of the bank statements, and their ragged, terror-choked breaths remained in the air. Just yesterday, I had still been planning this anniversary, wondering which dress, the one he once praised, I should wear. How we might relive old dreams. Even 30 minutes ago I'd clung to a pathetic last hope when the iPhone lit up. Emergency late shift tonight. Babe, sorry. Weekend makeup dinner. I'll bring a gift. Reading that righteous excuse, I almost laughed. Late shift. Gift. Rain check. The oldest script. And disappointment had long curdled into despair. This time I was calm. I didn't answer. Okay, don't overwork. Nor did I send any pouting emoji. I lifted my gaze from the phone to the window, where a black Mercedes had just pulled up outside our Brooklyn apartment, and out of the driver's seat stepped a silhouette I knew better than my own reflection. Wasn't that Chase? Hadn't he said he was working late? He jogged to the passenger side and gallantly opened the door. A stiletto-clad foot emerged, then a sleek calf, and the woman leaned out, smiling as she laid her hand on his offered arm. At that spectacle my vision blackened. Wasn't she my lifelong best friend? Stella, how could you be so shameless? I bit my tongue until it bled. A ribbon of scarlet slid down my pallid skin, yet I felt no pain whatsoever. The intimacy I watched below plunged like a dagger into my heart. They didn't even bother hiding anymore. Skipped the whole performance. Were they no longer afraid I'd catch them? Might as well have cuckolded me to my face. I collapsed to the floor, trembling, mind wiped blank. What should I do? Charge down and expose them on the spot? Trail them secretly and record the cheater and backstabber in the act? Or swallow it like the coward I'd never wanted to be? I didn't cry, didn't confront, didn't even go back to the window to watch the pair vanish. Instead an eerie calm rose in me. I stood, opened Chase's laptop, and eventually clicked a buried icon disguised as a calculator. A private album exploded onto the cold screen. Dozens of thumbnails, every one a poison dart perforating my eyes. Frame 1, last Wednesday, when he'd claimed a company dinner. He and Stella were wedged into a corner booth at a secluded bistro in Queens, sharing one dessert, her spoon feeding him affectionately. Frame 2, half a month ago, in the hotel lobby of Chicago, the city he'd said he was visiting for business. Stella followed him to check-in, adoration dripping from her gaze. Frame 3, a hotel invoice dated that same business night, itemized, couple's romance package, and a bottle of 1990 Cabernet glaringly listed. I scrolled. More photos surged, them strolling an art exhibit in downtown LA. Fingers interlaced. Them in the last row of the Ritz-Carlton in Manhattan. Heads touching. Them outside the fitness studio she frequented in Brooklyn. Bodies unmistakably suggestive. Frame 4, Frame 5. Every image ridiculed my idiocy, my blindness. All those nights of overtime, those business trips. All those moments I sat home alone inventing excuses for him, pitying his exhaustion, nothing but an encyclopedia of lies. Ugh. A stifled wail clawed free of my throat. I parked the cursor on a video file whose thumbnail was too blurred to show more than the inside of a car. A fatal premonition seized me. The arrow hovered over play, quivered, then slammed down. The clip rolled, shaky, night dark, shot on an iPhone. The backdrop was the passenger seat of Chase's car, my usual spot. Yet Stella occupied it now, twisted toward the driver, practically glued to him. Then she leaned in. Muffled yet unmistakable smacks slithered from the speaker, followed by Chase's low, familiar chuckle. Cut it out. Almost home. My mind imploded. The final thread of reason snapped. Blood surged backward through my veins. My ears roared. The world flushed crimson. Agony tipped past endurance and ignited into an inferno craving annihilation. I hoisted the laptop overhead, ready to smash it to atoms. But my arms froze mid-swing. No, no, can't destroy. This is evidence. Must preserve. If they dared betray me like this, I'd teach them the flavor of their own poison. I stared at the kissing pair on the screen, pain flaking away piece by piece, until only a cold, merciless blaze remained. I closed the vault, cleared the recent files list, shut the laptop. I dialed. Hello. Is this Private Investigation Services? Speaking. The job I hired you for. Update. I've got fresh material, and I need you to execute the next phase. With pleasure. Buzz, buzz. The iPhone on the dresser wriggled, the caller ID springing up like a viper. Stella. That name now sent acid surging in my gut. Disgusting. How dare she? How dare she ring me now? Barely 10 minutes earlier I'd seen this so-called best friend slip her hand through my husband's arm and accept, without a flicker of guilt, the gallantry meant for me. I swallowed the bile and answered. Hey, Liv. The syrupy, deliberately bright voice flooded my ear. What are you up to? Please tell me you're cooking up something romantic for anniversary dinner tonight? I didn't answer right away. Every syllable of hers felt soaked in counterfeit honey. My gaze drifted to the framed photo pinned to the vanity, me beaming like a blissful idiot, curled in that man's arms. Now those same arms were wrapped around my best friend. Wake up. A strange voice inside my skull kept the last shred of me sober. Getting ready. The flat, parched tone startled me. No life in it at all. How could I sound so dead? Grief and revolt thundered in my chest, but something colder, revenge, pressed them flat. Ugh. Chase. Honestly, she was still acting. Her outrage, almost believable, almost had me fooled. Work can't be so crazy he forgets today. I can't stand watching this. I could practically see her pouting through the phone, probably trading smug looks with Chase beside her. They must love how easy it is to juggle me like a toy. Yeah, I echoed, aiming for soothing. Just texted. Pulling an all-nighter. Won't be back. I even tacked on a tiny sigh for effect. No way. That's awful, she squeaked, pitch rising in theatrical solidarity. Cooking alone is lame. Skip it. Come out. Bestie's got you. There's this new bar in Manhattan. Amazing cocktails. How thoughtful. Want me gone so they get the place to themselves. Or need to see me broken so her sick ego can feast. No thanks, Stella, I said, calm and slow. Then, crystal clear, I dropped the bomb. He just texted again. Shift got cancelled. He's definitely coming home tonight. Dead silence, so thick I could almost hear her lungs freeze mid-breath. Relax. What if Clueless finds out? That Clueless. She'll buy the overtime story. Come on, don't kill the mood. Let me kiss you first. Chase's voice carried a sleazy impatience I'd never heard before. Then the recording slithered into wet kisses and panting. I listened stone-faced, like it was white noise from someone else's cheap radio. I yanked out the flash drive I prepared and copied every second, those moans. Later clips of them hopping in and out of cars. All of it. The betrayal was so cheap I didn't shed a tear. I walked to the bathroom, splashed ice-cold water on my face again and again. In the mirror, a pale stranger stared back. Eyes dull, scary in their emptiness. Perfect. Grief is useless. I need surgical calm and a blueprint for payback. Back in the living room, I surveyed the cozy nest, now earmarked as a battleground, and felt a flash of wistful sorrow. I took pen and paper and wrote, Step 1. Dashcam evidence. I headed straight to Chase's garage. The keys hung by the door like a mocking ornament. I slid into the driver's seat, powered the car, and navigated the dashcam files. The screen glowed. Everyday clips scrolling like a boring movie. My chilled fingers skipped to the night he claimed he'd worked through till dawn. Play. Quiet driving. Engine off. Then the familiar duet of cheating breaths. Step 2. Money trail. In the study, I opened the laptop e-password. My birthday. How laughably arrogant. I pulled his online bank ledger and card statements. The mouse glided over suspicious lines, fine dining spots in Manhattan, hotels in Chicago, even jewelers in Beverly Hills. Dates matching his fake overtime and business trips. A twinge of envy hit. I'd never been taken to any of those places. Screenshots. Save. Done. Step 3. Bait. I picked up my iPhone and rang Stella, twisting my voice into a practiced whimper. Stella, I feel awful. I just know something's wrong with Chase. I dangled fuzzy doubts. Vague clues, reeling her in. Predictably, she slipped into perfect best friend mode. Consoling me, Chase adores you. You're overthinking, while fishing for how much I really knew. She even volunteered extra details to approve how busy and innocent he was. Every word was captured by the call recorder. She'll never realize those very excuses are nails in their lie coffin. The outline of a flawless revenge sharpened in my head. Anniversary livestream, no stage, could be better. I ordered every tool I'd need online. Micro HD cams, wireless lapel mic, cloud streaming rig. Everything arrived next day. I spent the afternoon testing angles, signals, captions, bio. I embedded a pinhole cam in the picture frame facing the sofa, another above the dining table. Hid the lapel mic among silk flowers in the vase. I ran checks until each smirk and syllable would be caught. Surveying the soon-to-be courtroom, I felt eerily serene. I know what I'm doing. I know what I want. Their ruin, total and public. The key turned in the lock like a starting gun. Chase walked in reeking of unfamiliar perfume. Honey, I'm home. He tossed me a velvet box, an opulent diamond necklace. Happy anniversary, baby. Gorgeous. Thank you, love. I beamed while my stomach churned. Those stones reek of every late night at the office. The bell rang again. Panic flickered across his face. Who'd come this late? He asked. All faux curiosity. I mirrored his wide eyes. I'll check. I opened the door. Stella held up a gift bag. Happy anniversary, Liv. Her perfume cloned the scent on Chase's jacket, so thick they didn't even bother hiding it. Do they assume I'm too dumb to notice? Stella, what brings you? I was shopping nearby in Brooklyn and realized what day it is, had to deliver good wishes. Hope I'm not intruding? Of course not. Come in. As I shut the door I thought, the show can't run without you. At the long table candlelight danced across 3 guilt-laden faces. Stella played hostess. Chase. Try this, you love it. He shot me an awkward grin. Stella's always so thoughtful, I chirped, secretly enjoying their amateur hour. She tucked hair behind her ear. The ring on her middle finger copied mine exactly. Love your ring, she trilled, side-eyeing Chase. Just bought it. Unique, right? Unique. Sure, I echoed. He once swore mine was one of a kind. Never reproduced. Chase kept his head down, sawing at his ribeye. Still, knockoffs always lack the real thing's depth. I added lightly. Stella's smile froze. Chase opened his mouth, but I was already sliding my hand into my pocket, fingers closing around the streaming remote. Time. This last supper had to end. I pressed to go live without hesitation. Oh, one more thing. I have a gift for you both. I spoke, my voice calm. I was tidying the cloud folder on my laptop and accidentally opened a pretty interesting audio file. Mind if I play it for you? Before they could answer, I lifted my iPhone and swiped the screen. Chase's brows knitted tight. Something bad was coming. Stella only managed an awkward smile. The air seemed to freeze, a thin layer of unease spreading. After a crackle of static, a sweet, crystal-clear voice poured out, each word a poison-tipped needle, stabbed into the dead silence. Oh, why the rush? What if she finds out? Next came Chase's oily, flippant tone. Finds out. That clueless. She'll just believe I'm working late. Babe, don't kill the mood. You're awful. So bad. Muffled kisses and ragged breathing followed. Like a wounded beast, Chase sprang from his chair, his face turning the color of slate, both hands stabbing in my direction. Olivia, what the hell is this? Fabricating crap to frame me. A tremor of rage and fear ran through his voice. Where did you get it? Stella, too, lost her composure and launched her near-Oscar performance. Tears on cue, voice quavering at perfect pitch. Liv, how could you think this of us? Seeing me sit silent, expressionless, she kept twisting the knife. That recording's deep faked. Right. Someone's out to destroy us. Liv, you mustn't buy it. Chase and I are innocent. She wept like a pear blossom lashed by rain, as if she were the wronged party. I watched them quietly, one rabid, one pitiable, a pair who'd clearly rehearsed their lines. The duet was flawless, and the sight only stoked my anger. Fabricated. Deep faked? I gave a cold laugh. Should I drag the dashcam file and your parking timestamps onto the big screen for comparison? The words struck like lightning. Chase froze mid-step, and Stella's sobs stopped dead, leaving only fake hiccups. Still clinging to reason, Chase snatched a vase and hurled it at the projector behind me. I'll shut you up. You lying. Stella jumped up, gaze sweeping the living room, spotting the pinhole cam hidden in the wall art facing the sofa. She shrieked and lunged to rip the frame down. My heart lurched. This show's climax was still coming. I couldn't let it fall apart. I stepped straight toward Chase, the raised face between us, my voice snapping sharp. Go on, Chase, smash it. Do it in front of a few 100,000 viewers in the stream. Let everyone watch how you lose it when you're caught. The moment those words left my mouth, Chase's arm, vase overhead, locked in midair. Stella's fingers froze on the frame. Both stared in shock. The stream, how many? Hundreds of thousands. Stella's voice cracked. Her face drained of blood. Oh, you thought I'd give you another private negotiation? I pressed, taking another step, while the number, hundreds of thousands, hollowed them out. I glided backward and tapped the remote. That audio was only the appetizer, I announced, the lapel mic carrying every syllable through the room. Now for the main course. Second detonation, the hotel footage. The retractable screen flared. A crystal-clear corridor clip from the Chicago hotel playing under an unmistakable timestamp. The very night Chase claimed he was out of town on business. On screen, Chase's arm circled Stella's waist as they sashayed to a door. Stella was practically velcroed to him, whispering something that made him bend and chuckle. At the threshold, his hand slid south of her hip and gave a squeeze. Stella giggled, swatted him away, and tapped the keycard. Beep, the door opened and they tumbled inside. Tangled together, the footage hit harder than any recording. A red-hot brand searing the word cheater onto every retina. Viewer count in the stream rocketed, from a few 100,000 past 1 million in seconds. The numbers still climbing. Comments flooded upward. A blizzard of text. This is how you punish a cheater. Cheater plus backstabber. Nowhere to hide. She's savage, zero mercy. In old times, they'd be thrown in a river cage. Some busybody started a hashtag, urging the internet to dox the pair and drag them into daylight. Others typed, ultimate betrayal. I've seen husbands cheat, but with her own best friend, she became the biggest wronged. Chase howled. No, it's fake, AI face swap. Stella stood mute, trembling so hard her knees knocked. Without pause, I dropped the third bomb, the money trail. The screen cut to Stark banking logs, row after row. Ice cold, October 30th last year. Tiffany necklace, $87,000. Pay, Stella. January 17th, Bulgari Hotel, $5, 600. Dinner for two. May, 4 wires totaling $420, Memo line, project investment. Each line I read aloud bleached their faces another shade. I zoomed in on the newest entry, last week, $2 million. Same recipient. Memo, prenup escrow fund. I set the remote down, face ash gray yet eyes like ice picks, and stared at Chase. Explain. Chase. What project investment routes capital into my dear best friend's personal account? And what kind of prenup money gets sneaked behind my back into her name? The triple volley, audio to confirm, video to expose, ledgers to destroy, landed punch after punch. I glanced at the counter. The stream had topped 2 million. Chase collapsed, claws in his hair, emitting an animal wail. Every shred of poise shredded under the weight of proof. Stella melted to the rug, mascara and snot streaking her face, whimpering, "We're finished. Totally finished." From their vicious arrogance to this flopping helplessness, 2 fish on the deck, the icy fire in my chest finally roared. A savage satisfaction, but it still wasn't enough. I walked to the wall, lifted the hidden pinhole cam, and zoomed in on their ruin. Chase crouched like a ghoul, Stella a puddle of designer silk. Then I faced the lens and, to the seething 2 million strong jury, said evenly, "Ladies and gentlemen of the stream, evidence complete. Curtain falls on this farce." Outside, slicing the night, came the unmistakable wail of sirens, growing louder. The sound knifed through me, closer, closer, until I shook. Chase and Stella were 2 stunned fish, cornered and glassy-eyed. Every last bluff scraped away. Only terror left. I strolled to the corner, drew out the tote I'd rehearsed 100 times. Relax, the gifts aren't over. My voice was soft, each word ringingly distinct. I shook out 2 gray garments. Jumpsuits. Numbers stenciled front and back, orange jumpsuits. "Olivia, you've lost it," Chase screamed, voice cracking as he tried to charge, but his legs folded and he dropped to his knees. Stella lost control of her bladder. A puddle spread beneath her. I tossed the jumpsuits over them. "Try them on," I said. "They should fit." I paused. "After all, you'll be wearing them for years." Those words were the final straw. Chase collapsed completely, knocking his forehead against the floor until snot and tears smeared his face. Stella sat slumped, motionless, as if the shock had cracked her mind and she was teetering on the edge of madness. Just then, bang, bang, bang. I dabbed away my tears, walked over, and opened the door. 2 detectives stood outside, faces grim. "NYPD Brooklyn Precinct," the lead one said, flashing his badge while his eyes swept the room. "We received a tip that someone here is suspected of fraud and malicious asset transfer." They stepped inside and took in the scene at a glance, Chase and Stella sprawled beside the orange jumpsuits, looking more wrecked than real convicts. Chase, Stella, the detective said, voice ice cold. You two, come with us. When the cuffs snapped shut, that metallic click was sweeter than any music I'd ever heard. The instant the cold steel circled Chase's wrist, he lifted his head, eyes bloodshot. Olivia, you hate me so much you'd see me dead? I took 2 steps forward, crouched, and whispered, dead. That would be letting you off easy. I want you alive, spending every remaining day branded a cheater and a fraud, spat on wherever you go. I want Stella to wear the word mistress like a crown of thorns she can never take off. That, cheater, is called revenge. I hoisted the still streaming iPhone, giving the viewers a tight close-up of the pair in their disgrace. The comment feed exploded, serves them right. Pure catharsis. I exhaled at the lens, feeling the boulder I'd carried for years finally roll away. But this show wasn't over. Chase hung between the detectives like a sack of wet cement. Why? I only did what plenty of guys do. Why crush me? His pathetic, despicable whine almost made me laugh. Why? I stepped closer. The detectives obligingly paused so he could catch every syllable. Chase, you claim cheating is just a mistake, not a death sentence. Then tell me, what do you call blowing my money while scheming to steal the condo I bought in Brooklyn before we married? Shame flickered in his eyes. The mask had finally slipped. Guess who sent that anonymous email? My voice was low, each word a hammer blow. Stella's ex. He stumbled onto your little love fest and cheerfully mailed me the photos. I should probably thank him for ripping off the blindfold. Stella's face blanched in disbelief. And those wire transfers of yours? I turned to her, tone glacial. Good one, bestie. Did you really think your trail was invisible? You couldn't resist flexing every new bag and watch on Instagram. The price tags never matched the mystery deposits in your account. I simply posed as a bored rich wife chatting about investments. And you bragged about how you sweet-talked Chase into funneling you cash. Her lips trembled like she'd grabbed a live wire. Chase stared as if meeting me for the first time. Terror dawning. Maybe he never imagined the woman he sneered at as clueless could excavate his secrets so calmly. Now you get it, I said, savoring their despair. I didn't set you up. You scripted your own downfall the moment you betrayed me. From that second on, tonight was inevitable. The detectives hustled them out. Chase didn't resist. His head drooped like a dead dog's. I turned back to the iPhone, 6 million viewers now. The comment scroll blurred into ribbons of Sister Slade. Textbook revenge. I bowed slowly to the camera. Thank you for witnessing, I said, voice hoarse. Heart light for the first time in years. Curtain down. One tap. The screen went black, and the world fell silent. Defendant, Chase, fraud and embezzlement. 7 years. Defendant, Stella, conspiracy to commit fraud. 4 years. Black ink on white paper. Stark and cold. Months later, a thick manila envelope arrived. No return address. Just my name printed in laser ink. I slid it open. Only a few pages. On top, a photocopy of the court verdicts for husband and best friend. A bureaucratic epilogue to a farce of a marriage and a sham friendship. Sealed at last by law. I took the papers to the window. Sunlight glared off the sheet, almost blinding. I'd expected fireworks inside me, jubilation or, at minimum, relief. Instead, my heart was calm. A late autumn pond without ripples. 7 years. 4. Those numbers translate to the prime of 2 lives now caged behind concrete and steel. And my own trajectory had snapped that streaming night, veering onto a road with no U-turn. I slid the verdicts back into the envelope and filed it in the bottom drawer of my studio bookshelf, alongside obsolete warranty slips, a rot archived. Chapter closed. My life had turned the page. The storefront I rented in a quiet corner of Riverside, California was small but sunlit. Raw wood desk. Half-wilted succulents I never remembered to water. Walls deliberately bare. Clean slate. Just the way I wanted. Standing at the window with a glass of water, I watched the courtyard ballet, interns sprinting, founders laughing over lattes, each hurrying through private sagas of joy and grief. The viral typhoon I'd unleashed had long been replaced by fresher scandals. Sometimes a clickbait site still trotted out the most badass wronged wife of the year meme, but the buzz evaporated within hours. The internet forgets. Life rolls on. This modest branding studio was funded with the very money Chase tried to hide. Business was steady, enough to keep me solvent. Every dollar earned clean and mine. Now and then a jittery woman drifted in, hinting she recognized me from TV, fishing for cloak and dagger tips on catching a cheater. I smiled, handed her a lawyer referral, and repeated my new mantra. I'm not a revenge coach. I'm just rebuilding an ordinary life. I chopped my hair, sharp, jaw length, sure about going this short. the stylist asked. Positive, I said. The locks that fell were more than hair. They were the last scraps of a sticky, deceit-soaked past. In the mirror my gaze looked clearer, tougher. Today's agenda, a launch campaign for a local startup. I opened my laptop. Pages of strategy notes waiting. When I looked up again, dusk had gilded the room. I stretched, ready to lock the door. My iPhone pinged, new email, unfamiliar sender. Subject line, Judge series adaptation offer. Judge, the nickname netizens gave me that night. I'd never answered any of the clickbait tributes. I skimmed the note. A production company wanted to turn the saga into a limited series, requesting rights, asking for a meeting. I closed the email without replying, shut the window, slung my bag over my shoulder, and stepped into the elevator. Outside, Riverside's lights glowed. A soft early summer breeze carried the scent of new leaves. I merged with the commuter tide heading for the subway. The road ahead is long, and I don't need to choose the second where it leads. Thanks for listening to today's story. If you liked it, hit like and share it with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next one. See you next time.